Hello and welcome back again. My name's Adrian Cockings. I do this live little thing online here on the web page, coronavirus in Spain information. I've been doing this for 23 consecutive days now, a single video every single day at 4 p.m. So if you're new to this, make sure you join in every day at 4 p.m. and I will keep you updated with all of the Spanish news that you may have missed, maybe because you don't speak Spanish or maybe because you don't have time. Well, I'm here to help you do a rundown on anything that has happened over the last 24 hours. I will give you the statistics like I do on every single video at the start. And of course, we'll go through some general news that has been going on. And of course, your questions that you send through every single day. More and more questions coming in, even as we speak. My phone is still vibrating as we get into this. So welcome one and all. For all of you long-time watchers and all of you long-time listeners as well. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for liking, for sharing, all the recommendations. It just really means the world to me. So thank you again for coming up. And we did this a couple of days ago, but again, I want to know where you guys are watching from. Where exactly are you watching from at the moment? Is it a town in Spain? Is it the region in Murcia, Valencia, Almeria? If you're back in the UK, where are you in the UK? Now, originally, I'm from Plymouth, down South Devon, originally. So if there are any people here watching from South Devon, maybe my granddad is watching, then hi to all of you guys back in the UK. Stay safe and try to wave this out as long as you can, okay? Right, so as the number, always the first couple of minutes, I like to go down the statistics of the last 24 hours and in total the cases in Spain as well. So, as we know, in Spain, as of Tuesday the 7th of April 2020, we have got 140,510 people infected. This is 5,478 over the last 24 hours. We have got 43,208 people who have recovered, and this is 2,771 over the last 24 hours. And unfortunately, there are 13,798 deaths over and 743 in the last 24 hours. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of questions about this, about the peaks and everything, about the statistics. Yes, we have not gone lower than yesterday. However, we expected that there will be a variation. We're not exactly going to see a great big decline like this. There will be some ups and there will be some downs. This is a gradual effect. So we're hoping that, of course, this is not going to be something that is major. We're hoping tomorrow, of course, it goes lower than it is today. But we never know what is actually going to happen until the statistics are released. So keep your fingers crossed. Make sure you keep a positive mind on this, because from what we're seeing with the charts and everything, it does look like there is just that curve. But yes, we're going to get one or two ups and one or two downs. So, hey, fingers crossed, this should be getting to the peak now, and we will be over this as soon as we can. Now, some people have been asking about, well, what characterizes a death in the statistics and what doesn't. So I did a bit of research on this, and it actually appeared on the news today as well. Deaths are counted of the deaths that have been tested positive of the coronavirus. So this is people who are in residencies, who are in hospital, or they've had a home kit and unfortunately haven't made it. So it's only the people who have been positively tested, not for people who have the symptoms and passed away, but the people who have been tested and they have passed away. Those are the ones that are in the death statistics there, okay? So there could be more autopsies that could be taking place, and with these autopsies, we could see more results coming out. But as we know from news and everything as well, basically the funeral service industry is just collapsing at the moment with the amount of deaths that are going on. But I will touch on that later on in the video as well. Now, as of the 13,798 deaths, of this, there are 5,464 people or deaths that were only in residencies. Now, these are elderly complexes that cater to the disabled elderly, basically who can't cope for themselves. So 5,000, almost 38% of the actual deaths in Spain are just in residences, which is crazy. You know, that's a very, very high number. But this is why we have to try and keep in this lockdown as much as possible, because the elderly are the most vulnerable at the moment. So we have to try and do our best with this, you know. So let's go into the news. Today I think is going to be quite a quick video. There's been some things that have been coming out, but I will be touching on some other things that I talked about yesterday and some other comments that came up. So in the news today, Jet2 put out an announcement today on their official Facebook page. This is where we know that something has actually come from the source, because it is actually the company posting this information. Their announcement as it stands of today, they will no longer be flying. I predict that they will be doing some emergency flights, because I know the Spanish embassies in the UK, in India, in China, they are actually working with the government here in Spain to organise emergency flights for Spanish residents and Spanish citizens to get them back. So there will still be some flights, but Jet2, of course, they're more short haul, like going to parts of Europe. So I don't know if all of these will be cancelled, but as it stands, all of the flights will be grounded until mid-June. Now, this could change over time. Now, a lot of people are going to be asking, well, what about the other countries? What if they're not out of the lockdown? What can we do? Can we travel between Spain? Can we travel between England? We don't know all of this information yet, and I doubt this information will actually be out for at least another month. We are only on the 7th of April, and I predict we've still got another month to go for Spain to come out of lockdown basically gradually coming out of lockdown. So it could take a while for other countries to come out of lockdowns, and it could be later than Spain. So Spain are not going to open up the borders for all of these people to come in. So, that would be crazy. So what I'm predicting probably will happen is there'll be some sort of negotiating going on about who can travel. There'll probably be tests on the borders. And maybe people who are crossing the borders will have to have certain protocols and certain documents to be able to come into Spain. We don't know exactly what is going to happen, but from what I've been researching from other countries and what they've been doing, this could be where Spain might be going. So fingers crossed this is implemented, because it's safer for the citizens of Spain and safer for the people who live in this country as well. Moving on. So, to go back to Jet2, well, that was just Jet2 that announced all the flights would be grounded. I did look into EasyJet and Ryanair as well, and they've been doing some extensions on the announcements and everything. So we're waiting to see what the official announcement will be. But at the moment, Jet2 have made that announcement. There will be more announcements coming out, probably from EasyJet and Ryanair and stuff like this. But we'll just wait and see. But also for the people who need a refund, who have booked with Jet2 and Jet2 holidays, they put out their post that, and this was very, very clever of them, one of the ways that you can get a refund is through or changing the flight that you have to another date, basically free of charge, changing it. So they only put that measure, and of course people are asking, well, what about cash refunds? Well, yes, by law they have to give a cash refund, and there have been people messaging me saying that they had refunds from back in March, the beginning of this, where their flight was cancelled. So there are flights, the flights that have been cancelled, there are refunds coming back, cash refunds, so fingers crossed. If you just wait it out, they have put in their message, please be patient, because they've got hundreds of thousands of calls that they have to make, emails to make out. So they will get to every client, hopefully, but it will take time. So if not, you can keep trying, keep emailing, but it will take time. If you don't get an answer straight away, you can always keep trying. But just remember, you have to have patience with these things, definitely. Okay, so moving on, we talked about funeral services, And basically, in Spain at the moment, it has just collapsed with the amount of deaths that keep piling on every single day. 700, 800 over the last week or so per day or per 24 hours. We are gradually coming down. We went down yesterday quite a bit, but we're now back up to 750 more or less over the last 24 hours. So they are backed up, and they are basically collapsing the cremation services at the moment. So what has been announced that the cremation services are suspended because they are fully booked. Even from now until another 2 weeks, they are completely booked solid. All of the cremation centers or the funeral parlors, they are fully booked. And what they are going to be doing, if you know someone who has died or passed away, they will do a temporary burial at the moment until the time of when they are able to open up these open up bookings, I guess, again, and to be able to be cremated. But they are doing either temporary or permanent burials for the meantime, until this service can get back up and running and manage with the amount of deaths that are going on at the moment. So that's the big news about cremations. And cemeteries, again, remember, these are closed. You cannot go to the cemeteries anymore. Funeral services as well, these are closed. There won't be any burials or ceremonies or anything like this, okay? Right, moving on. We had a couple of messages yesterday which was stuck out to me, so I highlighted them, and I wanted to do a bit of research on this today. Didn't get much time to do it, but I found out just a little bit, just to keep the viewers happy, I guess. So some people have been asking, what medication can I take? If I think I have some of the symptoms, what medication can I take? Now, yes, there have been some articles about ibuprofen actually causing more harm than good. Yes, I think it could be quite wise to listen to these. Anything about harmful, to do your research on it, it's very, very difficult. But this is what I've found out, basically. But what people are also saying is making sure they're taking vitamin C, so tablets and vitamin C's and stuff like this. Now, nothing has actually been announced. The general advice is stay healthy and keep a healthy diet. Now, this would just mean fruit and veg on a daily basis, making sure you get your 5 a day at least, lots of water, keep yourself hydrated as well. The general idea is the general advice is nothing to do with warm water with lemon will get rid of the virus, or taking daily vitamins a day. Nothing like this has been announced from any official sources, especially from the WHO, the World Health Organization. So when you read stuff like this, just, again, be very cautious about passing it on to someone. You can take it as you wish, but my advice, it would just be to keep hydrated, definitely plenty of water, keep to a healthy diet with lots of fruit and vegetables, and keep a normal routine going. That's the best advice I can give. Yeah, vitamin C and vitamin D's, they may help, but they're not going to be a defense against coronavirus or anything. You can always have especially in Spain, we live in Spain where we've got thousands of orange trees, millions of orange trees, in fact. So we can have fresh orange juice on a daily basis. So take what you want from this. But for the people asking about what medication to take, I wouldn't advise about taking any medication unless a professional has prescribed it to you, okay? That would be my advice especially, okay? And moving on, that actually goes on to pharmacies. So pharmacies on the news today, they've basically been wiped out full of vitamin C tablets, vitamin D and stuff like this. So all the vitamins, they've been wiped out because people think that they're going to help their immune system with all these vitamin tablets. And again, unless you've been prescribed something, you don't need to take these. You can get general vitamins from your diet, or even just getting a bit of sunlight during the day. That's it. That's all you should be doing. But also pharmacies have, a lot of people have been asking about which pharmacies have masks. Now, I cannot answer that. I'm very sorry. There are thousands, hundreds of thousands of pharmacies out there, and I will not be able to research every single pharmacy to say which one has and which one hasn't got masks, gloves, hand sanitizer. It's just way out of my league, so I'm very, very sorry about that. But you can do that. You can actually research on Google, just type in pharmacies on Google, and all the local pharmacies will come up near you. You can ring them, see if they have them, if you need them, okay? So a lot of people have been asking where we can get hand sanitizers, gloves, masks, etc. Again, it's not mandatory to have these. Some supermarkets are putting this into place, and some pharmacies are putting this into place where you have to have a mask to enter or have to have gloves to enter. But most supermarkets that I've been to, especially the local ones here in Corvera, they provide you with the gloves, and they never said anything about masks. So again, they should have all of this put into place already if they are asking you to wear these. And if there are masks and gloves and hand sanitizer available, just be sensible. You do not need to stockpile. When I went to the pharmacy a couple of days ago, in fact a week ago almost, there was a pack of 100 gloves. I don't need 100 gloves, so I said, no thank you, I'll be okay with just the plastic ones from the supermarket for the moment. I don't go out more than once every 2 weeks, me and my wife, so we're okay. We would definitely rather leave it for someone who may need it, and maybe an essential worker who can't get hold of materials. So just be very sensible with these as well. Also, some people have been asking about pricing. Now, I did talk about this the other day. This was on the news from President Sanchez, that when these masks, gloves, and hand sanitizers, because they have ordered a lot from other countries, and they have been arriving, over millions of products that have been arriving, these are going to be sent out to mainly hospitals, residences, okay, and general services that are up and running at the moment, so such as police, Guardia Civil, cleaning staff, etc. These will mainly go to these workers, okay? If you're thinking, if the government do think about selling these in pharmacies and stuff like this, that's when there will be a strict price on how they can sell it and what price they will be selling it for, because this is government funded. However, at the moment, with pharmacies where they stock their own gloves, hand sanitizer and masks, they are allowed to put their own price. There is no law against this. They can put it up 3 times as much, 10 times as much. They're allowed to put up the price that they want. It is such a shame that they will make a profit from it, but they're in business and they want to try and stay afloat. Unfortunately, this is how the world that we live in. So if you go to a place and they're asking for €3 for just one of those plastic masks or the cloth masks, personally, I wouldn't take it. That's a rip-off. But, a lot of places are allowing scarves or stuff like this just so you're, not touching your face as much. But that's basically it. But when the government funding hand sanitizers, masks and gloves do come into place, and if they are for sale, retail sale, they will be hopefully at a specific price, and they should not go above any of that specific price. So fingers crossed that is the case, and we will see some decent prices for masks, gloves and hand sanitizer as well. Right, let's move on. Also, tests have been arriving, and these are the quick tests. The quick tests that are taking 15 minutes just to activate whether the patient has coronavirus or not. There have been over 1.2 million tests sent to Spain. They are starting to be distributed around the whole nation. So the majority are going to be going to Madrid, Barcelona and Castilla-La Mancha. This is where the main infections are. But they will be going to all the regions of Spain. Now, you cannot get this by requesting them. The only way that you'll be able to get one of these quick tests is if you are an essential worker and you work in a hospital or a place where it does get crowded or there are public spaces. And hospitals. That's the only way that you'll be able to get these quick tests done. This could change in the future. I know other countries, they've been making stop checks basically where you can drive up, they will do the test and it will tell you whether you have the virus or not. But nothing like that has been put into place in Spain yet. If it does happen, of course, I will let you know when it does happen and what you have to do for it. But for the moment, do not go looking for these tests. Don't go to the pharmacies and ask for them because they do not exist and they won't be available to the public for, I would say, a couple of weeks. It's going to definitely be a long time. Also, with this being Easter week, I reminded you yesterday and on Sunday, Easter week is now here, and that's my cat outside there. Easter week is here, and of course a lot of people from mainland Spain are going to the coast, and some people have been successful. I've been receiving stories and even photos of people saying, these are my neighbours, they're shouting, they're having a barbecue, they're normally here during the summer. So yeah, it definitely shows that some people are going to their second homes down on the coast. This is appalling. If this is happening, it is appalling and they should be ashamed of themselves. Now, other people have been asking, what should I do if I see this? Well, the first thing you should do is contact the authorities. They should have proof of their full-time residence, okay? And if they are here on a vacation, they should be able to prove if they are here and they're saying that no, this is their full-time residence, they'll have to prove that they have been there for a certain period of time. They are not allowed to move over these periods of time, okay? So best thing to do is call the police. 112 is your number to call, okay? I'm gonna have to maybe let my cat in on this. Now, moving on. So the police will be out and about, and be careful when you are out here, okay? When you are traveling to a supermarket, your nearest supermarket, I posted a video about it today. When you're going to your nearest supermarket, take bags with you to show that you're going to be going to the supermarket. Maybe take a shopping list as well to make sure that you can prove I'm going shopping. And make sure you take a proof of address, because what they will ask you is where you are going to and where you are coming from. If you say that you are going shopping and you are further than 20 kilometers away and the police know that there is a supermarket closer, they will fine you, okay? Now, a lot of people have been asking me, well, what's the difference between a local shop and a supermarket? from what I've gathered and from asking lawyers and solicitors, there should not be any difference with this. As long as it is a place that sells food and water, this is classed as the shop or the supermarket that you need to go to, okay? Any place that sells food and drinks, water, this should be the place that you should go to, okay? This is the nearest place, all right? And lastly, we're going to be moving on to, especially with the Spain news, about the April 9th. Again, I still haven't found out if the April the 9th, the Thursday, April 9th, whether the people who weren't on lockdown, such as construction workers and pool cleaners and stuff like this, are allowed to go back to work full time. And now I've read the document, I've read it inside out, I put it into Google Translate just in case I missed anything. And again, this document that I received, it was put up on the 30th of March. Now, of course, the lockdown was announced a couple of days after this was put into place. So I don't know whether this rule has changed yet. I don't know whether this rule is actually going to be enforced or if it's going to be changed in the newer decree. So at the moment, everyone is saying, yes, we can go back to work. If you are self-employed, you can go back to work. No. We don't know this yet. Until the president makes an official announcement, I'm not going to be going on an old document that could not be valid anymore. So all the people who have been saying that, yes, we're allowed to go back to work, or yes, we can do this, yes, wait, just please wait for the moment. Now, I know N332, they made the announcement yesterday, but again, it was still confusing because they were talking about apologizing for people misunderstanding that they thought it was the 9th, but again, I couldn't find that original post, so again, a bit confusing. So they said that the 9th, people can then go back to work. They didn't put up the official document that was there, so of course people were getting even more confused. I was sent the document. Well, actually, I went onto the BOA website and I found the document. I researched it. I've got the exact paragraph where it says it. And yes, it does say that self-employment, when the second lockdown went into place and stricter rules were put into place, yes, it did say that after the 2 weeks on April 9th, these measures will be lifted. However, like I said, we are now in a new lockdown. So this new lockdown may void the old previous rules. So we don't know what's actually going to be happening until the president makes an announcement. And I'm predicting something that like this won't actually happen until the 12th, my personal opinion. But I'm going to keep researching this. You know, from the lawyers that I've spoke to, from people who work in the industry, they've all said it's very... you take what you want from it, and that's just not secure enough. That's not 100%. Until I get an official announcement from the government, from the president, or on a government official page, I will not be suggesting that anyone goes back to work on the 9th, unless I say it tomorrow or, Wednesday or Thursday, because we're on the 7th, so we've only got 2 days to go. So please just wait. For anyone who is sharing that information, please try and wait. And in fact, if you can share this information to anyone who is self-employed and thinks that they can go back to work, please just send them this video just to tell them to wait until we get the official announcement. Because what I don't want is people going out to work thinking they can and then automatically getting fined by the police or Guardia Civil. That's going to be a hefty fine of minimum 600 euros. So please be very careful with that. Okay, and now we're going to go on to the last thing. Or last bit of news anyway, and this was actually UK news. Now, of course, yesterday we announced that Boris Johnson, he went into hospital, and late hours yesterday, he was actually announced that he went into the ICU units, intensive care unit. Now, of course, the media had a field day with this. ICU, Boris Johnson, Prime Minister, under intensive care. It's all very, very good that they want to get the clicks, but please do the research, just like what I did, okay? ICU does not mean that he is locked onto a machine and he can't breathe. ICU can actually be a variety of different machines, okay? It could be the mask, it could be the tubes. We don't know. It could be just maybe he's struggling to breathe, or maybe he's just lacking of air. Maybe he's under serious breathing problems. We don't know this, and it wasn't released. So again, all the media back in the UK, they had a field day with this, but just with a simple bit of research, all it was just he wasn't struggling to breathe. It was just helping him. That was all it was. It was just helping him, and he just had the tubes up the nose just to help him. He is now, from about half an hour ago, he is now stable and breathing on his own. So again, when people read ICU unit, they think intensive care, he's in critical condition. No, ICU unit could just be the different machines that they use, and you just have to know which type it will be. So again, he's off the not the ventilators, the machines, the apparatus, and he's breathing on his own again. So again, he might not be the best Prime Minister in the world, but of course we wish everyone who is going through this a speedy recovery and hope he gets back onto his feet soon. But going to scaremongering, I've been reading a lot of news articles, and this is actually people back in the UK that have been sharing this to me, and it's horrible that this scaremongering continues. But it's not scaremongering in their own country. It's, of course, scaremongering for Spain. This is not helpful. You know, Spain lives on tourism. We can't have tourism if people are going to be scared to come here. So the actual headline, Spain hit by a horror new coronavirus death rates as figures make a rapid U-turn. How does that make you feel reading that? It makes you feel scared straight away. Wow. Rapid U-turn, horror new corona. No, this is nothing like that whatsoever. Yes, we have got more cases than there were yesterday, but they're still lower than what they were last week. So we are going down. Yes, they have to go up and down. But and this was actually on express.co.uk, again, another resource that I never really looked at before. But seeing this and friends sharing this, it was just really heartbreaking to see, because no, Spain has not been hit by a horror new coronavirus death rate, nor have the figures made a rapid U-turn. This is not the case. You know, they're going slightly down, and yes, we're not going to have exactly down in a pyramid. We're going to have ups and downs, but gradually going down and down. So again, when you're reading these news articles, and for anyone who is watching in the UK, please, Spain is doing well. You know, from everything that I've seen on the news, from government pages, from doctors that I'm actually in contact with, they're all saying that we are okay and we are now starting to manage. It was, of course, 2 or 3 weeks ago, they were in hell, but they are starting to manage this. They are starting to get into all of the emergency wards where everyone is now being seen in a quick and timely manner. Not as it was before the coronavirus, but it's still getting to a stage where there is starting to be managed. So my takeaway from this is we have to be positive about this. Spain is on the mend. And I just hope that people in England realise this before they start talking about other countries before themselves, because this is something that we didn't want to do in Spain. You know, on this live show, I never talked about the numbers in the UK. I never talked about really the negatives of the UK or anything. I just prayed that they stopped being silly and put themselves on lockdown. We've gone through this in Spain, and I still talk about the silly people who go out during the lockdown. But, you know, this is just, you know, it's frustrating to see. This is the country that I live in, the country I've made a home. And yeah, it's horrible to see. But that's what media is. Media is scaremongering. They want you to click on their articles so they can be paid. That's all it is, really. So, like always, I'm going to give you a question of the day. Now, a lot of people were messaging me, and I did this one day last week where someone wanted a birthday wish, and I gave them the birthday wish, but then the following days I've had so many messages of people, it's my birthday tomorrow, can you give me a shout out? Unfortunately, because I'm into the 50s, almost 60s, messages a day for birthdays, I can't give a shout out to everyone. But if it is your birthday today, happy birthday. I hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are in this world. If you're in Spain, stay safe, stay on lockdown, and try to remember, or try to contact all the people that you love. Try and remember them, because they are the ones who are also going to be thinking about you as well. But this goes to your question of the day. What were you doing last year on your birthday? Okay, that is your question of the day. So, for example, my birthday last year, what was I doing last year? I think I went out and we had a horse ride, me and my wife. Oh, wow. And then we went for sushi, I think. Oh, wow. It really flies by. But that's going to be your question of the day. Get thinking. What did you do for your last birthday? Okay, that's going to be your question of the day. Right, that is it for today. Now, a quick reminder, today at 6 p.m, there is going to be a webinar. The guys that I actually had a webinar with on Sunday, At 6 p.m, they're going to be doing a live webinar, mainly about the legals and the legalities of taxes in Spain during the emergency state, or the state of emergency. So if you want to tune into that, I'm going to be sharing the link. I'm not on the panel this week because I think it's going to be a bit too busy for me to do. But if you want to watch it, I'll share the link on here so you can watch live, and I'll also share the video afterwards. Remember, 8 p.m. every single night, get onto those balconies, show your support, play some music, give a round of applause. And guys, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for all the thumbs up. Thank you for the love hearts. I really appreciate everything that you do, because you're the ones sharing this information, the information that is correct. And I hope it gets out to the right people. So guys, I will see you tomorrow, exactly the same time at 4 p.m, just like every single day. Have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow.